Welcome to Channel X TV. Chris Dawson here. Delighted to be joined by Katie today from Back Market. So welcome, Katie. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Chris. I've been watching a lot of your videos and I always love the way that you use delighted with such enthusiasm. It's delightful to be here.
Well, I think Back Market is a very interesting business, but perhaps one that is better known in Europe than the UK. So just tell us a little bit about who you are and what Back Market do.
Yeah, happily. You're right. We are a little bit more known in Europe, but that's definitely changing. We're the world's largest marketplace for refurbished electronics. So we're trying to change the way consumers think about buying new all the time and trying to move them into more sustainably minded purchasing habits, like buying a refurbished phone, laptop, iPad. We've got around 8 million customers worldwide, but we launched in the UK about 3 years ago. So for the average everyday consumer, it was around that time that they hadn't really heard of us, but we've had a really strong entry into the UK market. And it's actually been one of our fastest growing market entries to date. So we're getting more known over the side of the channel.
So talk to me about growth in the UK. 3 years ago, there were no users, but what is the demand for Back Market now? How many devices are you selling? What are the most popular devices?
Yeah, of course. With the UK being one of the fastest growing markets that we've had, like I said before, I keep questioning myself as to why. What is it that's working so well in the UK? And I really think that's because Back Market is at the intersection of three global trends, but trends that we're feeling particularly here in the UK. So the first one is obviously already happening, but really accelerated by the pandemic, a real shift to online channels. The UK are Europe's biggest online shoppers, and that's one of the reasons for our growth. When you partner that with the two other trends that we're seeing in the UK, and one being, unfortunately, the cost of living crisis, inflation especially high here in the UK compared to some of our European counterparts, you're seeing people needing to look for cost-friendly alternatives. And the third trend there, which is incredibly not a great topic, is, of course, climate change. And UK consumers are very aware of this, they're mindful of it, and Back Market is really at the intersection of those three trends. And I think that's why, entering the UK market, we've seen such huge growth here. And it's really positive to see because, of course, with that, we're able to achieve our mission of reducing e-waste and convincing UK customers to make these sustainable choices.
And talking about specifically the e-waste and the sort of the rise across the board of the desire for refurbished or pre-loved, and frankly, not just for electronics, it doesn't matter whether it's fashion or motor parts, or it's just about every industry. But can you kind of define for us a little bit about the type of products you buy on Back Market, and specifically, for those that don't understand and myself included, what's kind of the difference between a second-hand used product or a returned product or a refurbished product?
Sure.
What is the difference between these, and what especially makes refurbished better or worse as a choice?
It's a really great question, and it's something that I believe our responsibility as sort of the leading marketplace is to really educate our customers on this. What is the difference? Let's take the difference to start with between used and refurbished. So used, I think it's pretty clear what that is. Let's use the electronic smartphone example. It's a phone that has been pre-owned, pre-used, and is made available for sale again. Refurbished is completely different, and it's a really, really fantastic offering, because what we're offering with a refurbished device is a phone that has been checked, it's been data wiped, and it has been through a refurbishment process that makes it exactly like buying new again. We've recently run a campaign out of the US where we actually had old tech experts from Apple, and we were giving them two devices, one refurbished and one completely new out of the box. And even these tech experts weren't able to tell the difference. So that gives you an indication of quite how like new buying refurbished is. You certainly wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And even me working in the industry, I struggle as well. So for us, refurbished is very different from buying used because it really has all the experiences of buying a new device. And, I've touched a lot there about the actual hardware itself, but we can also talk the same with regards to the services. Our mission, if we want to divert e-waste, is really to make that purchasing experience just like new, even with regards to the UX on the website. It's easy to find what you're looking for. It's a joy to browse, through to the promises of the purchase, i.e. 30-day change of mind, 12 months guarantee, just like buying new. At the checkout, you've got all the ordinary fast shipping options. You've got the ability to split your purchases, just like buying new. And I think that's the way that we're going to crack it, is if we can make that purchase experience exactly like buying new, there will be no logical reasons for customers to look for new products before as they shift to these sustainable habits.
And I think something you said there is really important, which is the 12-month warranty, because that's often the why would I want refurbished? What if I spend all this money and then it breaks after 6 months?
Yeah.
So that 12-month warranty, and basically giving the reassurance to the consumer that they are dealing with a company that's going to give them this service. So who's actually doing the refurbishing? I mean, do Backmarket do it themselves, or do your suppliers do it?
So we're a marketplace model, and you're right, it is all about that reassurance and it is all about that trust. And that's why we work with the best. We've across worldwide, we have 1,500 resellers selling on Backmarket. And our job as a platform is to make sure that they are refurbishing to the highest standards. And that's where our quality processes come in. And we really are working with brands directly. So, for example, the OEM manufacturers in some instances. We're working with big industrial refurbishers who are handling white labels for some of the UK's biggest retailers and then selling those products on Backmarket. And we're working with pure trade-in players who run their own direct-to-consumer trade-in platform and also use Backmarket as a sales channel. Our responsibility is to take this wonderful pool of really skilled refurbishers and make sure that they're meeting our standards in a standard manner that the end customer can understand and have faith in. And that's the value add that Backmarket gives, is to give that customer the right phone for them at the right price with the right quality metrics from the sellers.
So talk to me a little bit more about the trade-in service and kind of the offers that trade-in sellers can take advantage of, because I know, excuse me, there's going to be a ton of people who, whether they sell phones and they get returns, or whether they do part exchanges, there's loads of ways that devices come back to brands and retailers. So how do they take advantage of the trade-in service?
So the trade-in service that we have on Backmarket is a consumer offering, where as a consumer might go through the purchase of buying a phone on Backmarket. Let's just take the phone example. We actually pop up midway through and just remind the customer that they might have a device, a smartphone, a tablet tucked away in their top drawer. We actually did some research recently and learned that the average Brit has got 3 phones and a tablet tucked away in that top drawer. This is a lot of value.
I may have at least one spare smartphone that I don't use anymore.
Well, you're performing above average, Chris, though. Well done there. These devices that we have in our top drawers gathering dust effectively are worth quite a lot of money. And in this cost of living crisis, what our trade-in service offers is a way for consumers to just take 2 minutes to trade in their device. We're actually full circle there in the circular economy model, where we're then allowing the sellers who are selling on Backmarket to purchase those devices from those customers, put them through their rigorous refurbishing process, and then sell them back to customers on the back market channel as well. So that's our trade-in offering. Alternatively, much like you're saying, you have retailers, brands who have their own returns or refurbishing scheme, and those products are also able to be sold on back market to our customers.
So I've got a question for you. I've got an old smartphone here, but I don't know if you can see. It's kind of basically the cat kicked it off the desk and it landed on my bunch of keys. Is that something that I could trade in and could be refurbished, or is where the back screen's cracked, is that just beyond repair?
Yes, absolutely. So when you're a customer looking to trade in your device on backmarket.co.uk, there's a small area of the website that asks you many questions about the device that you have. In your instance, what make, what model, what year, and then what condition is it in? And of course, we'd rather have that device be taken into our back market reseller network rather than ending up in landfill. And also, these resellers have incredible machinery, equipment, processes where they're able to make that phone just like new by replacing parts. So your cracked screen shouldn't be an issue there, Chris. We might still have some options for you.
That's fantastic to know. And for the business opportunity, if we've got refurbishers and recyclers probably authorized by, it's going to be the big names, it's going to be the Samsungs, the Apples of the world, can they actually go onto your site and actually use it as a source for getting phones, or do they have to be registered as seller, or can they just sign up purely to acquire trade-in devices?
We prefer for the sellers to be on both part of the marketplace, of course, because for us, that's a true circular economy there. But we do have some players who are only selling on back market rather than using our trade-in solution. It's something that we're offering in most of our markets. It's relatively new to the UK, the trade-in service, but it's again, like the UK, it's very popular. It's growing very quickly for our sellers.
That's great to know. Can you just talk to me a little bit about trends in refurbished devices? I mean, when I think refurbished electronics, I always think, smartphone, tablet, laptop. But are we kind of limited to those devices, or are we going to spread? Is there going to be a day where I trade in my old Dyson or my Vax carpet cleaner, or where do we get? Do we get down to TVs and microwaves? Or
absolutely, we do. Yeah, absolutely, we do. But you're spot on. Many customers, particularly in the UK, where a bit newer, do think of refurbished devices largely being smartphones. However, on our trade-in service, you can trade in iPads, laptops, most forms of tablets. Gaming consoles is something that's rising a lot as well, which is fantastic because obviously quite voluminous and in high demand. So yes, what I think we will experience in the next few years is people will probably try out refurbished with their smartphone. They will choose something that they think synonymously with, and they will give back market a try on their smartphone. And what I'm sure we have the opportunity to do there is to convince them this isn't too good to be true. This is actually the future of electronics, and that the circular economy is something they can absolutely trust, and reassure them on that. And then I see consumers becoming increasingly confident with the offering, and then picking up their laptops and their larger electronics as well. I mean, our dream is that that all of your electronics can be purchased on back market, and we're seeing a wide variety of products getting added already. We have RoboVax. We do have air fryers, kitchen appliances.
So I never even thought about the air fryers, because everyone bought an air fryer in lockdown.
I know.
Even I've got one now. And frankly, it saves a fortune on using the oven. And if it ever breaks, I'm ready to trade it in for a new one. But before I let you go, can we just talk a little bit to the business opportunity? So for those refurbishers out there, and I hope especially the manufacturer authorized refurbishers, what's the kind of size of the opportunity in the UK and perhaps in Europe as well? Are UK retailers selling to Europe and Europeans selling to UK, or is it very much a market by market basis? And also, frankly, where do they go to get started? So size of the market and the opportunity, and how do you get started?
Yeah, so the size of the market, we've touched a little bit about the UK being a big engine for growth here. And I think there's many reasons for that. But one of them is that obviously there was free trade across the European countries before Brexit. And then we saw a lot of smartphone devices heading into Europe during that period. When Brexit happened, it meant that it was significantly easier to keep that stock in the UK. And I think that's where the refurbished market in the UK had another level of growth added to it.
Understand.
So it's meant that there's a lot of stock in the UK. Consumers were previously used to renewing their smartphone every 2 years, and through the trade-in programs that were offered by their telcos. And while that consumer habit is changing, it has meant that the market size in the UK is really big because of that history that we have with trade-in and refurbished devices. It's a very mature industry here in the UK, much like it is in the US. So we have benefit in the UK of a big market size.
And for the people that want to trade on back market, where do they go to get started?
Absolutely. Firstly, you can head to backmarket.co.uk for the consumer side. And also on there, we have a way to reach out to the team. But if we've got sellers here looking to join the refurbished revolution, then you can reach me on LinkedIn. You've got my name there, and I'll make sure to connect you with the right team.
Fantastic. With your permission, we'll put your LinkedIn link below this video as well.
Lovely. Thanks, Chris.
Katie, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Thanks, Chris.